Okay, so yeah, that's fine. So the setup wise, like I said, was pretty good to be fair.
Yes.
Arguably, you could get your hands a little bit further forward there, but generally speaking, your setup's in a good sort of position there, good posture,
Okay.
alignment was good, okay? As you went back now on this right hand one, there was a lot of movement off the ball with both hip and head and bending of that arm, okay? Now trying to get back to the golf ball, okay? We're going to see your impact position here. Now, there's your impact position, okay?
Yeah,
and we'll see, bit scut on the ground there and how far your hip hasn't really moved back to the target that much to the left-hand side. Now, this one here now, it starts off on the line. Now, you move around a little bit, as you'll see. Okay? Doing all this practice, so you're moving from here, trying to move your hip to the target there, almost exaggerating that left hip so it gets over your left foot a bit more. And you keep doing this. Let me sort of get back to setup here now. I just want to see the comparison of the impact position, because the blue line's actually in the same spot, believe it or not, when it comes back after all that. There you go. So there you go. To the top of the backswing here now. Not so much moving off the ball. Now we move through the golf ball here now. There's your contact. Look how much further forward now your hip has gone this way away from that blue line. You've moved a good, and there's a lot, but that much further left. But physically, you couldn't move that much further more anyway to the left. So you kept your head nicely behind the golf ball. Everything now is moving kind of this way towards target. That left hip's going towards there, towards the target, and getting a nice rotation around there. Whereas this is sort of not really as much rotation. Then eventually, sort of the end, you sort of come through, but haven't really gone this way. And if you go back to this one on the right, when you talk about how you sort of try and change it sometimes, you say you can see if you try and aim to the right how your hips now move to target, effectively. So the more the hips move in that direction, the more or the less left it will go, and vice versa. If your hips, when you come back to kind of centre, go the other side of the line, you're now going to be going left of target. So if the golf ball is now going left, your hips are just not moving enough towards target, They sort of, again, you want to rotate. As you said, you're trying to get yourself twisting through the golf ball, Twisting is good, but the twist has to be kind of blended with from here,
with the
your
movement
first,
of the hip.
the first move now is a bit of a bump to the target here. So you can practice, I'll just zoom out a second, you can practice this movement here now, moving that hip into the wall. So as you come into the wall there now, if we go to the impact, that frame after, but you can see now your left hip and foot have, so your left hip, should I say, your foot's not going to move, your left hip is moved into that wall. I'll go back a frame there. Your left hip's winning that race into that wall there. And then the hands get past the golf ball, and then a good swing through to your left side. So focus on that hip. Think about, exaggerate whatever you want to do in your practice. Walk to the ball. Maybe just have that sort of hip in your mind, just bump and go, Don't overthink the swing. Don't think, I've got to try and go here, do this, pull the arms down, do my sign-up shit in the clubhouse, then roll my arms, then twist, then put the oven on, then do this. Then it's just, your brain is just like in overload mode, okay? So focus on it in the practice swing, exaggerate the heck out of it. You can stand there and be sort of going, okay, move those hips as much as you like, get into the left as much as you can. Step to the golf ball, okay? There's a golf ball, hips, shoom. And away you go. Don't overthink things. The more you think, your brain's going, and there's no enjoyment anyway, because you're just frazzled.
It said, you're on the tee and you've got Gareth in your head.
That little thing was like, exactly. But really, for me, this is what I always try and sort of emphasise as much as I can. And I always try and give as much information as necessary, but at some point then try and summarise and say, right, okay, here's your swing thought. Bump the left hip, and use like a 4 or 5 phrase sentence. Okay, don't try and think, okay, do this. It's just okay. And then a lot of times, or in fact all the time I should say, when I'm giving advice in terms of what we're going to try and do, the advice I would give to somebody would never start with the word don't. So I would never say to someone, don't do that with the hips, or don't do this, or don't lean back, or do that. I would think, what's the opposite to that? I think, do that. Because if someone says, don't think of a pink elephant, boom, the brain goes, oh, pink elephant, where is it, kind of thing. You don't almost distinguish between the two. So you've got to think of a positive of what you want to do, not a negative, don't do my hips this way. Because if you're there going, don't do this to my hips, well, your hips are going to do that all the time. If you're going to, get my hips to do this more, think about what you want to do. It's a more of a positive outlook rather than the negative, don't.
Right, okay.
Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Excellent, good stuff.